for me, I'm always keen to support women. So I'm like, whatever you want to do, you do it. And I've got your back.
If you play football, people think, oh, like you can't wear makeup when you play football, or I think you can do whatever you want.
Hello and welcome to the INDIVISA Show. I'm Soraya Shiraz, and with some help from Laser Clinics UK, we're going to be talking about women in football, confidence and all things beauty. I'm joined by Leicester City's Ruby Mace and Aggie Beever-Jones from Chelsea. Of course, we've come to the end of the WSL season, and what a season it's been. I'm going to come to you both individually, but we have to start with you, Ruby. How do you think you've developed this season? How do you think it's been for you competitively so far?
Yeah, I think I started this season obviously with a change. I signed for Leicester, a new club where I've been before, but not permanently. And I wanted to, try and build a platform there and be the best version of myself. And Leicester gave me that opportunity, so I took it, and I've really enjoyed it.
Do you feel like you've changed from the start of the season till now?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've realised a lot about myself and the goals that I want to achieve in the future, and ultimately playing football where I'm happiest.
And you two obviously know each other very well. We've heard some banter about Invincible season. How has this season been for you?
Yeah, I think it's been a crazy season for me personally. I think obviously same as Ruby, we had a bit of a change with a new manager coming in and we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, I'm really enjoying my football. I think obviously we've won 2 trophies and it's been somewhat successful. I think we're obviously a bit upset about the Champions League, but room for improvement for us.
And of course, being in England, as soon as one league ends, we're looking forward to the Euros. It's round the corner, the buzz is building. As fans and as players, how do you feel about it? Because it's, defending the trophy, it's a big deal.
England won it last time, and I think it's just about getting as far as you can in the tournament and doing your best and trying to lift that trophy again.
Obviously the girls who won it last in 2022, I want to say, I think did an incredible job, and I think what they did for the women's game has basically paved the pathway now. I think the trajectory that the game went on ever since that, I think, has been incredible to witness. I think I was there at the final watching it, almost going pinch me moment, just because I was like, finally the women's game's getting the recognition it deserves. I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be a great summer and hopefully one to look back on with good memories.
When you think about the biggest lessons you're learning season in, season out, what are some of those lessons that you feel, I'm different from Aggie and Ruby last year?
The growth I've made in terms of on and off the pitch the last 2-3 years has been massive. I think obviously my loan spells have helped me out massively in terms of growing up and getting the opportunities I've had at Chelsea. And I don't think I'd have had the success I've had if it wasn't for those. And I think you learn a lot about yourself. I'd joke about it, but I didn't even know that council tax was a thing 2 years ago, let alone all that stuff.
So you do,
you do kind of have to grow up a little bit. Yeah, I definitely say that I'm constantly learning. I'm in one of the best environments every day.
And Ruby, same for you. You've played for quite a few different clubs. You've had a few different experiences. How has this season at Leicester City, helped you learn some lessons?
Yeah, I think when I was at Man City, it was pretty hard for me. Going in every day, trying to do your best and prove yourself. And sometimes it's just not meant to be. So I had to find a new pathway which I wanted to go down, and ultimately that pathway was happiness, and playing every week was something that I really wanted to do, and luckily I've got that opportunity and Leicester gave me that platform to do that. So just to be happy and play football is something that I think I took for granted a little bit until I wasn't playing, and I feel like I'm back to myself now.
Of course, in football, you can't enjoy the good times, the Euros finals, without, experiencing the bad times, experiencing the periods where you're not playing, you're injured, or something's not going right in the team. How do you mentally get through that?
I think there's been some tough times in football, which, people don't really realise, and you have to kind of go through that silently. And to have people like Aggie who I can relate to, and someone who can understand what I'm saying about football, because not everybody understands, but I definitely feel like that's very important to have someone that you can relate to.
I think it is part of football. There's always ups and downs. I think you can have injuries at any point. And for me, I know I'm well aware of that, and I try and enjoy every moment as much as I can, because I know there'll be, in however many years, I'll look back and wish that I'm in the position I was in now. So I think for me, it's just taking it day by day, enjoying what I'm doing, and ultimately I get to do what I love every single day.
Tournaments are long periods, especially for women. We all have our beauty regimens and everything we need to keep up with. Now, let's say you're both there June, July, Switzerland. What are some non-negotiables you're bringing that you have to upkeep with?
Mine would definitely be moisturiser. I think you would say that.
Yeah, we did talk about this a little bit before. Moisturising.
Definitely hairspray for me.
For me as well as skincare. I take a lot of pride in my skin and moisturising, and like Ruby said.
Tell, skin's on point, skin's on point. What's sort of your relationship with that? You know, after a match, you come out straight away off the pitch, you're sweating, your hair's swinging that way. Have you always been confident about it? Has it been something that you've been conscious on, that you've had to build your relationship with?
I think for me, sometimes, like, I look at some pictures of myself and I have to double look. I'm like, is that actually me? Then on the other hand, I'm like, I've just been running around for 90 minutes. I'm sweaty. I'm on the floor. I'm in mud. I've got grass stains on me. Like, what do you expect? Like, it's just, that's life. And sometimes you just got to learn to get on with it.
I normally go to the photographers and I'm like, why would you pick that picture out of every picture?
When we took a picture together for the first time, you was like, not that side.
Yeah.
I remember.
But it's like, I think, like Ruby said, it's something to be proud of. Like, we get to play football, and albeit, yeah, your hair's a bit skew with and you're a bit sweaty, but like, to me, I'm like, that's what I love doing it. And for me, I've never had any problems with confidence. For me, I'm just like, embrace the womanhood, I would say.
How important has skincare been to you? I feel like it's a journey. There's like a certain age or something that happens to you where you're like, I actually need that 10-step routine.
I used to see people on TikTok doing all these things, and I tried to be that girl, and it just didn't work for me. And like, I said it to someone earlier, I was like, I honestly just use Dove soap, and that's the best thing I've ever used on my skin. Literally.
Like, even I'm giving her side eye here and now. I'm like, Dove soap.
But honestly, like, my skin's like never been better, and in my head, like, that's part of my routine now. So if I don't do it and I get a spot, I blame that, but it's probably not that. It's probably just my hormones.
Aggie, you're the OG. Do you have a 10-step routine?
It's not even that, to be fair. It's actually my sister. She got me into skincare and whatnot, but I think it is finding what works for you. Like, for me, I just, like, as soon as I get out of the shower, I have to moisturize. Like, my skin will go so tight. Yeah, whatever works for you, I think, is always a good way.
How important is your skincare regimen as a woman in football?
I think for me, obviously, skincare is such a big thing. It makes me feel extremely confident, and like, if my skin looks good, I feel good. I think as well, I've recently started the hydrofacials, and I think it's such a nice way to kind of reset your skin and almost give it a bit of love, because obviously for us, we're sweating pretty much every day. Your hair's a bit of a mess, and like, firstly, it kind of gives you a relaxing time, and then secondly, I feel confident, I feel good in my skin, and yeah, it just makes me feel good.
They almost like get out all the little dirt bits that you maybe can't get yourself. And I think from playing football, when you sweat a lot, like Aggie said, and sometimes you're in a rush to do your skincare and you can't get it properly, but to have these quite often, yeah, it really makes your skin feel clean and moisturized.
Have either of you ever felt pressure to look a certain way as a footballer?
I don't care too much about what other people think, because at the end of the day, like, I'm myself, I'm me, I'm happy in my own skin. And if that means that I wear a bit of makeup on a game day, I wear makeup on a game day. If that makes me feel good, then I'll do it. But everyone's got an opinion at the end of the day, and you can't please everyone, so you just got to please yourself.
Mic drop.
Yeah, literally. I don't think I can beat that, but whatever Ruby said. But literally, I do think it is so true. I think the one thing I love about women's football is that it's so inclusive, regardless of who you are, where you come from, what you want to do. I think everyone's welcome, and I think that is one of the best things about the women's game. If I were to give any advice, I'd just be like, do you, and the only real opinion that matters is yourself anyway.
And Laser Clinics UK, it's all about empowerment, getting to know what works best for you. Growing up through the youth systems, did you ever feel awkward at times, figuring out beauty regimens, things on your cycle, figuring out ways to make your life easier as a woman in football?
I think girls will always be girls, and there's always something that someone can say that's better than what I've got. And there's a footballer in my team, and she's always like, oh, you should use this, or you should try this. And I'm like, okay. So then I buy it, and then I try it, and it doesn't work for me. And then it's good to know that all the girls like try and help everyone, and that's something that's so important in women's sport, that you're there for everyone.
It's obviously nice to kind of have each other, because you obviously are all going through the same thing, and obviously you're all growing up at the same, like me and Ruby, we've known each other since we were, I don't know, like 9 or 10 maybe, playing against each other in the academy. So you get to grow up with these people, and you get to experience growing up, learning about your body and whatnot.
Has there been a tip you've got from a teammate that's been really useful for you, beauty-wise?
I once got told if you wear like an oil on your leg, like a wax sort of thing, then when you tackle players, or players try and tackle you, they just slip off of you. And ever since that day, I've wore like oil on my legs and my socks low.
You haven't missed a match without
Never
oil?
missed a...
Does it work?
Never. I think so. For me,
She's playing well.
works for me.
Do you think more things around empowerment, whatever women need to feel comfortable in to perform their best, should be discussed a lot more? Because it can be taboo, especially in mainstream media.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people expect you to look a certain way, or if you play football, people think, oh, like, you can't wear makeup when you play football, or you can't do this when you play football. And I think you can do what you want as long as you're on the pitch when the whistle goes and off the pitch when the whistle ends, then I think you can do whatever you want.
For me, I'm always keen to support women, so I'm like, whatever you want to do, you do it, and I've got your back. Like, I think that's one thing that brings the women's game and makes it a bit different from the men's game. And like you said, it is breaking down those stereotypes. I think for me, I've grown up in a world where it was mainly the men, and I didn't really acknowledge that there was the women's game. The way it's going is obviously it's such an exciting time, and I feel extremely privileged to be a part of that. And I want to hopefully inspire the next generation that if you want to play football with a bit of makeup, or if you want to get laser, you can do that and still feel comfortable and still do your job on the pitch.
Do you have any tips, any hacks for when you've got a really busy schedule to make your beauty regime a lot easier?
I think for me it's definitely laser hair removal. I think it's very quick to do. When I go for my appointments, it doesn't take long, and sometimes when I have 2 games a week when I have to shave and stuff, the laser hair removal really helps me not have to shave too much, because obviously the laser removes the hair, so it's less time consuming when I have to maybe shave before the next game. And yeah, it makes my skin feel good and it makes me feel confident in my skin.
As a woman, I want to feel good when I'm playing football, and if I'm able to get laser and I, like Ruby says, I don't have to worry about shaving, or because it is a bit of a faff, and I'm like, oh, if I miss a hair, it really annoys me. I'm like, oh, miss your socks like on my leg, like to get all the angles. It's a bit frustrating.
How important is it for brands like Laser Clinics UK to be, you know, initiating this conversation, offering these services all over the UK?
Yeah, I think it's so important. When I first signed for Manchester City, I found Laser Clinics UK, and luckily they have loads of these clinics around, so I'm able to do my laser in Leicester as well.
What would be your advice for young girls trying to get into this space, into the next generation of football?
I think for me, I always got told this bit of advice is like, how do you expect people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? And that's something that I've taken on board, and if you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything, whether that's starting something new and being anxious of something. I always think putting yourself in a position where you're maybe not comfortable and being okay with that, I think that's very important. And if you can get through that, then you know you can get through anything.
I think I probably realised this a bit later in my career now, but not putting too much pressure on yourself. Like in football, it's easy to kind of get caught up in it because you're so engulfed in football. Like obviously for us, it's our lives. But I think the bigger picture is you started because you were just, for me, like an innocent girl who loved kicking a ball. It's nice just to be able to kind of look back now and just be like, you play for her and play with a smile on your face. And I'm such a believer that you play your best football when you're happy.
What sort of advice do you give to young women who are playing football? It's an up and down journey. You girls know that more than anyone. How do they build their confidence and that self-belief?
Sometimes you feel like just because you've had a bad session, you're a bad player. But when you reflect, and I mean, for me, sometimes I look back at videos of when I've done something good and I'm like, okay, so I can do this. I'm actually not as bad. I'm not as bad as what I did today. It's just about accepting the things that you do wrong, but not taking them as negatives, just taking them as, okay, that's happened, I can move forward from this and continue to do well.
Football is a lot of the time, there's a lot of attention on the negative things that happen in the game. How much do you actually give yourself props and go, I had a great net game, and enjoy that moment? I mean, you was tapping the badge the other day, you really enjoyed your goal, but sometimes you don't always have that because there's a game in 3 days and you can't always give yourself praise. So.
I think definitely, I know you are, because I've been with Aggie a lot, and actually no, I think we're very, very hard on ourselves. And for me, if I give a bad pass, I'm constantly thinking about that moment when really you just need to snap out of it. And I think that's a good thing that I'm actually upset that I gave that pass away, because I think better of myself, and that's what I think in them moments where I do something wrong. I'm like, no, Ruby, you can be better than that. It's life. Like, you gave the ball away. Sometimes I think about it too much.
Bigger perspective,
the bigger picture, I played the ball to the wrong person. Like, move on, Ruby, get on with it.
But it's funny you say that, because like we are so similar in that sense, and I do think maybe it is a footballer thing, but I have such high expectations of myself that when I don't always reach that, then I get so stuck on it, and I'm like, I'm thinking about that pass I did in the 20th minute and it's the 80th minute. Like, just almost you need to switch off and kind of go on from it.
Can you tell me one thing you're proud of yourself for doing this year?
For me, just sticking through it. I think if someone was to look at my season, they'd say I've had a great season, but I think that's just the surface level. I think that I've had so many struggles this year. Some people can be guilty of that they just look at the surface and they look at games and they think, oh, she scored, she must be feeling great, when actually you have your personal life that doesn't get documented, you have your own stuff going on. For me, I've always said you never know what's going on in someone's life as much as you think you might know them, so just be nice.
Yeah, I think for me is literally just waking up the next day and going again, because since the age I started playing football, there's never been a day where I've missed football. And some people might say it's boring, but I wake up enjoying myself, going to training every day, and just to wake up the next morning for me is a blessing to go into something that I love and I can actually say I love the job.
Aggie, Ruby, thank you so much for being role models, your authentic self, bringing these topics to the forefront. You're incredible young women, and you keep inspiring other young women to hopefully come one day and have the same journey as you. So thank you for sharing.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
And you are as well.
Blushing. And of course, we have to say thank you to Laser Clinics UK for supporting this episode and supporting all these discussions around women in football.